Today on LightRay Reviews, we look at the fictional novel titled Daughters Who Walked This Path, written by Yejide Kilanko. It was published by Farafina Imprint. First off, the book cover got my attention. I love the way the words were printed in black and aquamarine green with a distinctive imprint of footsteps in shades of red, brown, and faded green against the background of other patches. The more I look at the footprints, I keep seeing them as a metaphor of untold stories, hidden stories, shameful stories. The book, Daughters Who Walk This Path, is a naked and unpretentious book. It does not aim to lift you with rich prose, a complicated plot, or extensive use of literary devices. It is simply a narration that captures Nigeria's historical references, timelines, mannerisms, metaphors, philosophical thoughts, and language of the Yorubas that delved succinctly and expertly, using just the right amount of information to evoke memories of periods in Nigeria we all relate to differently. And in other instances, it actually does provoke the kind of nostalgia that lights a fire from the past you may wish to revisit or not. Yejide knows her city, Ibadan, the place where the heart of the story is located, bringing the largest city by territory in West Africa to life as she captures the politics of the people in the 90s, which, by the way, strikes you in the face like a wrecking ball when you see the ghastly resemblance of it to how the 2019 elections in Nigeria went. You hear Mr. Tiamiyu, a political candidate without the clout of big money bags, make a plea to convince electorates to vote for him. Listen to him. For over a quarter of a century, I have watched and listened to our people talk about, shout and cry of the injustice in our lands. We shout to high heavens about the relentless treachery of one tribe and the domination of another. Yet, we remain silent about our individual acts of injustice. Market women, you march on the street protesting against the injustice of corrupt transporters, whereas you sell bottles of adulterated palm oil to unwary, hungry buyers with a friendly smile.
Now wow.
Now let's go to our main character, Moriah, through whose eyes we unfold both the magic of her innocence and the destruction of it. Using simple everyday language that captures everyday people living everyday life, her voice does not reek of the middle-class poshness that seems to dominate stories written by Nigerian writers who win international book competitions or bestsellers, as she tells the story of rape, its effect and consequences. The type of rape between a cousin and a family friend that does not have a categorization like incest. Yejide captures the untold stories of her characters with a deliberate stroke of her writing brush as she navigates the birth of an innocent child, Moriah's sister, Inyayo, who was born with a skin anomaly called albinism. In Yoruba language, they are referred to as Afin. She deftly tackles the issue of discrimination, shaming, bullying, cultural rejection, and the negative perception meted out to albinos in societies that prefer to normalize only colors they are used to. Look at this scene here. I overheard two neighbors talking. Where do you think this Afin child came from, Seth? The first woman asked. How would I know? The other woman answered with a cough that shook her triple chins. I just know that this is not a good thing. My friend's sister gave birth to an Afin last year. 3 months after the child's birth, the father lost his job. The following month, my friend's sister fell off from an Okada and broke her arm. Some children bring wealth and promotion. These Afin children. They all bring bad luck. In narrating Moriah's evolution from childhood to adulthood, Yejide captures questions ladies who are not yet married at 25 face for society. It also explores how the choice of living within the university campus or schooling from home can have both intended and unintended consequences. Thus raising the question, how do some get so lucky and others don't? The scene at the marketplace on pages 185 to 189 is very gripping. It captures the moment when Moriah's aunt, Auntie Morenike came face to face with a violent police officer rounding off innocent passers-by on false charges. It brings to mind how SARS, as we know them today, may have metamorphosed from such policemen with such mentality who raid markets, shops, and even on the streets they cut away pedestrians whom they label loiters in order to rob them by force, using tools of policing to achieve such brigandage. See the scene here. Mariah, run! I say enter the truck. The policeman barked. The gun muzzle pointed to the back of the truck. I said you should enter now. The policeman waved the AK-47 widely in the air. Get in now! He barked some more, but the yam sellers on the other side of the road started shouting at the top of their voices, their faces raised towards Morenike. Ma wole o! Ma wole o! Do not enter the truck o! The story now takes us to the page where Mariah hits her 30th birthday. The thorny issue of ethnic intermarriages raised its ugly head. Mariah's father years ago had called his daughters aside and warned them not to marry outside a given ethnic group. While she was still in her teens, using a map of Nigeria, her father circled up accepted areas to marry from. He considered these places suitable for his daughters to choose from. Anything outside that circle was forbidden. But as you read the story further, it becomes clear that at the heart of such divisive thinking is a fear of falling into wrong hands by marrying into troublesome families, as we eventually come to discover. As an ode to Morenike, a victim of rape and brave fighter of cancer who didn't live to see her son's child or niece's wedding and graduation, Yejide uses a letter Morenike writes to Mariah as the kind of gift a rape survivor can derive great inspiration from. The exact kind of gift Mariah needed to push her on. In close enough, the end of each character's story, including that of the rapist, the question of redemption for evil done on others by the perpetrators slaps us hard in the face. Does the rapist deserve redemption? What kind of compensation would soothe, replace, or ease what was lost, or the effects of the act committed by a rapist on its victims? Can it ever be enough? Post your comment and let the conversation begin. To order more copies of the book titled Daughters Who Walk This Path and to join our book club, call 0803-5926-901. You can also email lelcdelta@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. I'm Lady E, Ejiro Umukoro.